What's up everyone, it's TyranitarTube, and Mustard has a dead Pokemon in Pokemon Sword and Shield's Isle of Armor DLC. It may seem like something inconsequential and you may not even know about it, but it is consequential and there has to be a whole conspiracy around it, which we're going to talk about in this video. So for those of you who don't know about Mustard's dead Pokemon, once you beat the Isle of Armor DLC and the end screen pops up, you can read Mustard's rare league card. And when you read it, it shows you young Mustard 50 years ago when he beat a younger Opal, and then in that same year that picture was taken, went on to become the champion. And the card says that he went undefeated for 18 years, which is probably longer than Leon. He's probably only 18. And then it gets ominous because they say one day his partner Pokemon died, and after that he got his first loss, and then losses started piling up. The first question obviously is, what is this dead Pokemon? Anything's open for debate. It's even possible to be revealed when the Crown Tundra comes out, because that is the other half of the story. I'll throw 3 ideas out there. It could be an unrevealed Pokemon. It could be something just simple like a Snorlax, an unbeatable Snorlax, even more unbeatable than Leon's Charizard. The third thing, it might be some mad legendary Pokemon like Galarian Zapdos. Mustard mentions at the end of the DLC that the time is coming for something soon, and we don't know what that's referring to. It could be that he's gonna do something in the Crown Tundra. It could be related to the conspiracy I'm talking about in this video. So let's talk about his dead Pokemon. On the surface, it seems like maybe his Pokemon just died, completely normal. But does that really happen in Pokemon? If you notice on the league card, they keep it very discreet. They didn't even say he died. They say he lost his partner Pokemon. They don't say whether it died from old age. They don't go in depth about whether the Pokemon was sick for a long time. They don't say how he died. Though it probably wasn't sick because it was a Pokemon that never lost the battle. And because it's dead now, it has a flawless record. That Pokemon probably has like 1,000 battles and 0 losses. And I think that is the core to this conspiracy. I'm gonna play the role of a mad theorist. My theory opens up tackling the fact that his Pokemon dying was not an accident or something that was supposed to happen. And the core of this theory is that maybe Mustard's Pokemon was so strong that someone conspired to get rid of it so that Mustard could finally be stripped from 18 years on the throne as champion. There's some unusual things shown in Sword and Shield in terms of the champion. In other games, they just talk about it being the strongest trainer. In Sword and Shield, it's almost treated as the pawn of whoever sponsored them. Chairman Rose endorsed Leon. Even after becoming champion, that's Chairman Rose's champion. And you can tell by all the meetings they have, even at the end of the game, when they're up at that tower, that Leon respects Chairman Rose. And Chairman Rose is very close with this pawn, the only person in the world that he told his Eternatus plan to. I don't know who endorsed Mustard, or even if the endorsing system was a thing back there. I'd like to assume it was, because in the picture you can see he's got an audience behind him. There wasn't Dynamaxing during this photo. Mustard's reign during champion, there was no Dynamaxing at all. He just had a solid, unbeatable team. I think that's the conspiracy that happened. Someone wanted to rip Mustard off the throne so that a new champion could be born. It would have to be someone evil. A trainer would want to fight the champion. There's no trainer that wants to cheat their way to the top. To become the champion, every trainer understands they have to defeat the champion. So maybe if there is a conspiracy that someone was trying to plan this and did something to Mustard's partner Pokemon without Mustard knowing, then I feel like it was someone who doesn't have the role of a trainer. Carry on to reading the rest of the league card. This is where the Game Freak people throw in such an unusual detail that I don't even know why it's in his league card. It may just seem normal at first. Listen to this. They pretty much say that after Mustard's partner Pokemon dies and he starts getting losses, that the chairman of that time tried to set him up in a rigged match, and Mustard just left the league and went to the Isle of Armor. What is the point of Game Freak writing that at all? The league card could have just said Mustard lost his Pokemon and then Mustard left the league and went to the Isle of Armor. But for some reason, they decided to throw in that the chairman tried to set him up in a rigged match. You see where I'm going with this, right? I think the chairman was the one who tried to screw up Mustard's partner Pokemon. Stuff like rigged matches is never even talked about in Pokemon games. Maybe the chairman at that time wanted his own pawn to be the champion instead of Mustard, but no one could take him down. So I crunched the numbers. 32 years ago, the chairman does something, and then finally someone manages to beat him and a new champion takes over. That was 32 years ago. Truly, you could think it's just a tragic, natural story. Like Mustard was a strong champion, his partner got sick and died, and then he left. But for no reason at all, they threw in the text that the chairman tried to set him up in a rigged match, and that Mustard left the league and started the Isle of Armor. It's the most unnecessary thing, but they wrote that there. They even mentioned Mustard is extremely popular. So popular that even after losing his title, he was still blowing up everywhere. He was too popular a trainer. You know when you're that popular, someone has the evil eye on you. As in someone wants to tear that down. His team was unstoppable, his popularity is unstoppable. Clearly, he was unstoppable. I'd like to introduce our first candidate. The one who did this to Mustard's Pokemon. Was it Chairman Rose? It honestly works. Chairman Rose gets rid of Mustard, sponsors Leon. Leon becomes champion. Now Chairman Rose has a pawn that's champion. And during all these years, Chairman Rose is brewing up his plans to resurrect Eternatus. It just takes a lot of research. I could believe it was Chairman Rose until you realize that Chairman Rose is not the type to hurt a Pokemon, not the type to poison it, to want to trap it and bring it out somewhere. Maybe if Chairman Rose truly believed that in order to save the Galar region, he has to do this one bad thing and do something to Mustard's partner Pokemon, which is believable because of how much he loved Galar. But overall, Chairman Rose is actually a good person, or at least has good intentions. In the post-game, when you find Olina in the mines, she mentions that Chairman Rose is happy that you stopped Eternatus' Rampage too. He's not angry. So I don't want to pin that on Chairman Rose, but they're mentioning that it was the chairman of that time that told Mustard that. So now we actually take in the numbers that are given to us here. 50 years ago, this photo was taken. This is the year Mustard becomes champion. And 18 years later is when his partner Pokemon dies. That means it was 32 years ago that this happened. They mention the chairman at that time, as if implying it isn't even Chairman Rose. There's no need to mention at that time. They could just say the chairman decided to get him in a rigged match. But no, they try to specify to us that it was not Chairman Rose. It was the chairman before him. I think Chairman Rose is old. He must be like 50. If he's 50 right now, then 32 years ago he was 18. He's too young to be chairman. It's possible, but being the chairman is mad. Think about Sinnoh. You'd be taking care of Cynthia, the Elite Four, everything. They'd all be your system that has to run it. You can't be 18 years old and running that. So that leads our culprit to the chairman right before Chairman Rose, which would give you a little phantom story, a phantom timeline. So let's say it was the former chairman. 32 years ago, the former chairman has a pawn sponsored that was unable to beat the champion Mustard, weakens him so that Mustard can be defeated, and 32 years ago, a new champion took over the region. Before I continue that timeline, the question is, what is the identity of this chairman? See, there's a question that always went in my mind, which is that Macrocosmos construction, air, insurance, there's so many Macrocosmos companies. Chairman Rose placed second in the Winden tournament years ago before he decided to stop being a trainer and run Macrocosmos. It makes sense Chairman Rose just loved the Galar region so much that he just lost the tournament and built this company from the ground up. But it makes even more sense that he inherited it from someone, from like his father. I researched all throughout the game. I can't find the origin to Macrocosmos. Let's say the president of Macrocosmos before Chairman Rose was Chairman Rose's father. And he was also the league chairman of the Pokemon League. And now you can just see the scene play out. Maybe Chairman Rose's father is the same as Chairman Rose. He adored the beauty of Galar. He wanted to resurrect Eternatus and supply infinite energy to the Galar region, and he's the one who actually started this project of hunting down the wishing stars and trying to research the darkest day and where Eternatus might be to resurrect it. Dynamaxing is not recent stuff. It's been in Galar for hundreds of years. Magnolia is 60 or 70 years old. She's been researching it since she was young. Chairman Rose's father would be about the same age as Magnolia. Since those early years of Magnolia and Chairman Rose's father, what if Chairman Rose was researching all of this to resurrect Eternatus, so he ruined Mustard's partner Pokemon and had his own pawn rule as champion while he was trying to figure out how to resurrect Eternatus? And little Chairman Rose was there watching how much his father adored the Galar region. Little Chairman Rose gets his love for the Galar region from his father. He inherits the wantingness to supply them with infinite energy. he carries on the plan to resurrect Eternatus. The original plan of resurrecting Eternatus has evil qualities to it. Whoever first came up with it must have known some of the evil they were doing. I can also imagine this person doing something like taking out Mustard's partner Pokemon. And maybe little Chairman Rose just inherits the positivity from that. And that's why for some reason he has no evil qualities, despite such an evil plan. See, if there's one thing I notice in the games, it's that Chairman Rose repeats this phrase that the next 1,000 years are at stake. We need infinite energy. And if you look at Bede, he repeats it in that exact way. I tell you, Bede probably knew the Eternatus plan the whole time. Bede is the closest thing to Chairman Rose's son, and he repeats Chairman Rose's words as if he was a son listening to his father. Inheriting from Chairman Rose to Bede feels like the same thing someone gave to Chairman Rose. That childlike innocence and how much he just wants to make the darkest day happen. Doesn't feel like Chairman Rose came up with the plan himself. It feels like he's just childishly trying to carry it out. The same way it feels like Bede was childishly saying the same thing Chairman Rose does. Obviously that means Chairman Rose's father didn't last long enough because the research took too long. And so Chairman Rose inherits Macrocosmos and becomes the League staff and endorses Leon, and him and Leon go on to try make the darkest day happen. There's just two openings here. It's either the former chairman who does not have a blood relation to Chairman Rose, or it's the former chairman who was Chairman Rose's father. The thing with stories is that the writer knows the context of what they're writing. I promise you, the Game Freak people, when they're writing Ruby and Sapphire, they knew more about Archie and Maxie, what kind of upbringing and childhood they have, why they feel like this. It just won't make it into the games, but you need to have that general thought process in order to make the games. So whoever wrote Mustard's character knows more about Mustard, and when you see Game Freak has put these words as if hinting there's some sort of past and shows in his league card his partner dying, the chairman of that time trying to rig his match, there's clearly an underlying story here that the writer knows, and whether they'll never reveal it or maybe reveal it in the Crown Tundra, it still exists. If there's one thing that's confirmed in the games, it's that Mustard hugs the TV and that no one on the island knows what's happening in the outside world. None of them know the news, and none of them even know that you're the champion who stepped down on their island and was training among them. As the dojo master, wouldn't watching these insane gym matches be mad training for his students? He doesn't let them watch any of it. And in fact himself, it looks like he just plays games and doesn't watch it himself. It's this feeling of like disdain for the Pokemon League. And even if we got our tinfoil hat on right now, if you're unsure about the fact that someone did that to his partner Pokemon, it still says in his league card that the chairman at that time tried to make him do a rigged match. There's some sort of corruption in the Pokemon League that's confirmed in that league card. Did I get you? Did I spook you out? Well, that's my theory. Shank that like button. Let's see your thoughts in the comments below. I'll see you on the next video. Take care.
Bitch, I'm the man. Give me my spot on that throne. They didn't want me to grow. They didn't know.